A fun last-minute addition to the show. Excited to have a hilarious stand-up comedian, Jim Norton, join us this morning. Hey, Jim.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
What's going on, man?
I'm coming to Connecticut. It's so funny, too. My agents, I had these, pre-sales going on for Connecticut and Boston. My agents don't even tell me my tickets are on sale. It's you know how this is true. You know how I learned Foxwood there was a pre-sale happening? I saw it on Twitter. I was on Twitter, and somebody was just got a Jim Norton ticket from the pre-sale. I'm like, what's happening? So I literally, I'm like, I want to call into all these shows and promote the on-sale. So I had no idea that I was even, I knew I was performing, but I had no idea I was on sale.
10 o'clock, when you found out, the tickets go on sale.
10 o'clock this morning.
10 o'clock, Foxwood, April 3rd.
April 3rd, Foxwood. Yeah, you said all that. Okay.
I'll
be over here if you need.
I thought you were going to say you found out on Twitter from Vos complaining about you playing bigger rooms than him.
You know, Vos is, I don't even know if I am, because Vos is on this Creeps with Kids tour with Bennington and Bobby Kelly and Florentine. So I don't know. I think they're actually doing theaters. They're doing really well. But nothing makes me happier than when Vos does a bunch of theaters and then has to go back to doing a small room. That makes me really happy. I root for him to do well. I want his fall to be further.
Everybody, who follows you guys, and I mean, you guys all kind of work together and have done many things together over the years. Everybody loves making fun of Vos. He's the worst, a horse-toothed idiot. Everybody.
The funny part about Vos is, dude, he's so funny and he's so vicious. That's the funny part about Vos, because he'll always say something stupid. He can't help it. Whenever he's trying to be political or meaningful, something dumb is going to tumble out. But then when you start hitting him, he will pull off. He throws jaw-breaking insults. Vos is really funny, but he just always says something that makes you want to attack him.
You just played Don Rickles in The Irishman. I mean, that's got to be a mind F, right?
It is. It's weird. I thought I was going to get cut out. I saw Ray Romano the night before, and he goes, "Hey, man, great job in the movie." And that's how I knew I made it in, because I was going to the premiere. And I didn't think I was going to make the final cut, because Scorsese's office tells you nothing.
You got to fire your agent. You don't know anything about your own career.
Dude, I literally know nothing about my career. We couldn't get an answer if I was in the movie. They don't tell me when my tickets are on sale. It's the only person doing worse in the business than me is my agent. He actually knows less than I do.
But it's got to be a dream come true. I mean, you came a long way. You deserve it. It's a lot of hard work. But are you looking around that room? The scene that you're in, everybody's in there.
Yeah, when you walk in, I mean, De Niro and Pesci were in the scene with me. And when you walk in, and that's the first thing I saw when I walked in the room. It was before the shoot, and I walked in. It was Scorsese, Pesci, and De Niro just standing there, the three of them having a conversation. And I never wanted to barge in and get a photo so badly in my life. I'm I'll never get that. But you can't, because it's before I shoot. So I didn't want to get yelled at before I shot the scene. They had to respect me as a performer on some level. So I played it cool, and I was like, "How you doing, guys?" I was panicking. Yeah, it's surreal, because you're around guys who you've idolized for 30 years.
Comedian Jim Norton joining the show. Pre-sale starting 10 a.m. for his Foxwood show, April 3rd.
No, this is the actual sale. Sorry, the pre-sale's over. This is the actual sale. The on-sale is 10 a.m. The pre-sale is finished.
Turns out I don't know anything about your career either. We happen to have one of our buddies, another stand-up comedian in studio this morning. His name is John Romanoff. We're just hanging out and, getting ready for the interview with you. And I come across 5 questions for the Funny Man, a Philadelphia article.
5 questions.
And John and I just...
Yeah.
That's what he did.
He said exactly what you said.
That's what John did. He goes, "I can hear the noise now."
5 questions for the
Funny Man.
That's only cool if you're interviewing Hitler or Jeffrey Epstein.
You've been doing this a long time, man. You've been on radio a long time. You've seen a lot of interviewers. I'm curious to know who you think is the best interviewer.
The best interviewer? Honestly, Bennington does a great job as an interviewer. He really is. He's very conversational and casual, and he's capable of talking about anything, and he doesn't sound like he's interviewing you. He just sounds like he's having a conversation. So Bennington is one of the best I've ever seen, because he does long-form interviews, and he does them really well, and he's funny, but he can be smart and serious. I think Bennington is overall probably the best.
Comedian Jim Norton joining the show. UFC, you still following? I know you were way into the UFC. You still doing all that stuff, following it?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I do the UFC podcast with Matt Sarah twice a week.
Oh, nice.
I love it. It's funny. I don't go to many events anymore just because I'm working so much. They want to get us to some more events this year to broadcast at a live event. But it's the only sport I can watch. Like I can't watch team sports anymore. I just get too frustrated, and too many of the athletes are unlikable. Like I've interviewed too many of the athletes, and they just suck. Like they don't want to sign autographs for the fans. They don't want to answer questions. They come in with their stupid sunglasses on. So I started really disliking most athletes other than fighters.
They're terrible. The only thing worse than athletes is musicians. You can't get. I mean, there's absolutely. It's the most boring. That's why we do it more comedians than anything, because you can't talk to a musician. You ask them like, you want. What do you want to know about a musician? Right? It's like the party stuff.
You want to know the party stuff. And we interviewed recently. Sam didn't want to take him. But I'm like, look, dude, Leif Garrett has a book out. He was a 70s icon. He went through horrible drug addiction. Sorry about that noise in the background. They're doing construction. I'm like, Leif Garrett will be a good interview because those guys who are from the 70s are always good interviews. And he came in, and he didn't want to answer anything. He was like, you got to read the book. And I'm like, hey, stupid, that's not how you plug a book. You have to give information, and that makes people want to read the book. You don't do a teaser like interesting stuff, but it's in the book. Oh, yeah? Nobody's going to read your stupid book. So they don't know how to be interesting or do interviews, so they don't want to tell you anything.
Comedian Jim Norton. And you know what's funny about that is, like, everybody knows Leif's story. There's nothing he's going to tell. That's what I hated. Everybody loved The Dirt, the Motley Crue movie. I hated it.
Right.
I knew everything in that.
Oh, the Motley Crue. Yeah, the movie was okay. I didn't love it. I typically don't like band movies where I know it's not the actual singers. Like, but then again, you have to. Like, Muhammad Ali did a movie called like The Greatest when he was like 35, and he played himself as a teenager, and it just looks stupid. Like, you have to get unknown actors. It was so funny to see like already heavy. I think he even had a mustache like he did when he fought Larry Holmes, and he's standing there trying to pretend he's 16 Cassius Clay, and it was just embarrassing. So you have to get unknown actors. Those are the only guys that can play real like living celebrities or unknown actors.
Well, you did I want to just say again, you did a great job in The Irishman. Great movie.
Thank you.
And these people, we were talking about it earlier in the morning. If you don't like The Irishman, you're not paying attention. The internet is terrible. The internet hates Star Wars. It hates The Irishman. I'm like, one guy said to me, "It's not as good as Goodfellas." I got, it's not Goodfellas. It's not the same movie. Ass face.
It's a different film, and it's funny, man. Like I watched it again, but at the premiere, I was just worried. Like, was I okay? When am I coming on? And I watched it again on Netflix when it came on, and I really loved it. And not just because I'm in it. Like, I know my part was okay because I watched it, and I didn't want to run out the room. Like Adam Driver, and I'm not comparing myself to that stupid Adam Driver, but, like, he hates watching himself. He walked off a Terry Gross interview because he gets, like, skeeved out watching himself. I understand that because I hate watching myself. But when I watched The Irishman on Netflix, I was like, oh, okay, that was fine. Like, I was okay with it. And even the end where it's, like, long and drawn out, where he's just old and alone. I'm like, look, he's being true to the book. That's what the book was. That was what Frank Sheeran's life was. Goodfellas is a different movie. Casino is a different movie. And if The Irishman was 2 hours, it would have been like the third in that trilogy. But that's not what he was trying to do.
Yeah. Jim Norton, the sale for the tickets, the show April 3rd at Foxwoods. You can go to foxwoods.com to get the tickets. And we appreciate a couple minutes of your time. Tell your agent, hang in the door in the background that we said hi.
Thank you very much. And by the way, could I have ended this in a more boring fashion? Well, technically, The Irishman had wonderful lighting. I really thank
Now you have, yes.
Yeah, I almost called you Matt Damon when you said you hated watching yourself. Do you believe for 1 second that Matt Damon doesn't watch his own movies? This is his claim, by the way. I'd like to punch him in his stupid face.
I hope not. I hope he hates himself as much as I did. That's what I really hope. I'm like, that makes me happy. That gives me hope. I hope Matt Damon thinks of cutting himself every time he sees a rafter. I hope he wonders if he'll support his weight. I hope Matt Damon hates himself.
Johnny wants to say something to you.
Hey, Jimmy, it's John Romanoff. John Romanoff. I'm a comic down here. I just want to let you know I was a big Opie and Anthony guy back in the day, and you're the reason I actually got into this. So I appreciate you.
Hey, thanks, man. That means a lot. It always means something coming from another comedian. So thanks, John. I really appreciate it.
Jim, he said, I'm not going to tell him I already met him. So I says to him now, I'm going to tell him that you met him.
I said to him.
Where do we meet? Where do we meet?
I met you at Southern when you played Southern. What's the pavilion? I forget the name of the place. It's the last comedy ticket I've purchased.
You came in as you actually watched the show.
We haven't worked together yet. We haven't worked together. I worked with Vos, Florentine, and all the other guys you mentioned, but I haven't gotten you yet.
Oh, where do you live? You're obviously in Connecticut.
I'm in Connecticut.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll wind up working together sooner or later. So I'm doing more gigs now. I'm back on the road. I kind of stopped for a little while, just doing radio and all this other stuff. But yeah, I'm coming back out a lot. Yeah, it's nice talking to you, man, and thanks for saying that. That was really nice.
I meant every word of it.
We'll set it up through the agent.
Yeah.
Jim Norton.
Yeah. My agent will tell you 2 weeks after I've been in the town. Hey, you want to open for Jim?
Thanks a lot, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
All right, take care, guys. See you later, guys. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. 8:26.
All right, Jim Norton. Tickets. 10 a.m. they go on sale. Foxwoods.com.
There you go.